Hello, and welcome back to Tips and Tricks with Eoin, Part 3. So, the tip I've decided to go with today is one I find particularly useful in Excel, but can also be used to the same extent in Microsoft Word. It can be used the same way in PowerPoint too. The tip I'm going with is actually one of the tools that comes standard with all these applications. It's actually found under your Home tab in the clipboard group. It's called the Format Painter. Now, when you normally ask people, have they used the Format Painter before, you do get a lot of people saying, yes, I've used it before. But what you actually find is most people only use this tool to half of what it's really capable of. So let me explain the first part of this tool, and then I'll show you exactly what you can do with it. So the Format Painter, what essentially does the Format Painter allow me to do? Well, if I'm doing a lot of formatting, and like I said, this doesn't really make a difference whether I'm doing this in Excel or I'm doing this in Word or PowerPoint, but I'm going to just go to one of my cells here. You can see I've got a workbook open here, and it's got a number of headings here. So that's January through to December. I've got multiple headings here, but I'm just going to concentrate on the first set of headings here, right at the top from cell A1. So I'm going to click into cell A1 here. And I'm going to apply a bit of formatting to this cell. So I'm going to keep it nice and simple, just to kind of give you an idea of how exactly this Format Painter tool works. So in cell A1, I'm going to bold the contents of this cell. I'm then going to change the background color. Now I'm going to use yellow. I wouldn't normally, but I'll just use yellow in this case. And I'm going to use a font color of red. I'm going to ask that it centers that information and maybe even changes the font size from say 11 to say 14. Now obviously I could apply a bit more formatting, but I'll just keep it simple to start with. Now, obviously when I was applying that bit of formatting, I've forgotten to highlight the rest of my headings. The one thing I want here is consistency. So I want to make sure that the formatting that I've applied here gets applied across the board. So I want to make sure that I'm using the right colors, that kind of thing. So in steps the Format Painter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to simply click in cell A1 where the formatting is. I'm going to come up to my Format Painter, click on it once, and you can see if you look at my cursor now, you can see it's got a little paintbrush beside it. So all I now have to do is highlight the rest of the heading. So I'm going to highlight from B1 right across as far as L1 and let go. And you can see it simply copies the formatting across. Now I want you to remember one thing here. It doesn't bring over any formulas. It is literally formatting only. Okay, hence the name, the Format Painter. Now, again, like I just said, you ask most people, have they used something like this before, the Format Painter before? They'll tell you they have. The issue they have though is, what if I need to apply that same formatting to multiple areas? So what you find a lot of people doing then is they're back into cell A1, they're clicking on the Format Painter again, they're highlighting, they're back into it, and they're back and forth to the Format Painter all the time. So let me just undo what I just did and start again. Because this time, what I'd like to do is apply this formatting to multiple areas, even into multiple sheets. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click inside the cell that has formatting, and this time I'm going to come up to my Format Painter, but instead of single clicking, because I know this time I want to use it more than once, I'm going to double click. By double clicking on the Format Painter, you're now telling Excel you'd like to use this more than once. So what this allows me to do is keep applying this formatting as many times as I like. It even allows you to go into different sheets of this workbook and keep applying that formatting. When I'm done and I don't need to use the Format Painter anymore, I have two choices here. I can either go up to my Format Painter and switch it off, or I can hit my escape key and that will deselect the Format Painter for me. An extremely useful feature, because when you work with Excel, you work with any of these applications, you are doing formatting, and it's nice to know that you can use this Format Painter. Single click to use it once, double click to use it more than once. So you can see here, and just to point out to you, in a lot of the older versions of Microsoft Excel or Word or PowerPoint, it never really told you exactly what the Format Painter does for you. But here's a little hint for you. The next time you're unsure of what an icon or a button will do for you, hover over that button and you can just see here it gives you a nice little detailed description. And if you look at the second paragraph there, it mentions the double click option for the Format Painter. Okay, well I hope you enjoyed the tip, and stay tuned for our next